Lambrook is the most beautiful school just on the edge of Windsor, placed in 52 acres of the most glorious countryside, with 580 boys and girls from age 3 to 13. We believe in feathers to fly, giving children the opportunity to flourish academically, but also in their music, their drama, their sport, and so many other things as well. It's a really happy school, and we just think children just flourish here in this environment. Okay, the three benefits of a country prep school education are this. First of all, space. Children can just be outside and enjoy this enormous space that we have here in school. Secondly, we're really blessed with resources. You have your swimming pools, your theatres, your games fields all on site, so you haven't got to get on a bus in order to do any of these things here in school, let alone obviously the wonderful science blocks and other teaching areas too. And thirdly, I would say it's about a mindset. It's about seeing education as a whole. It's about giving children the opportunity to, of course, study hard, but of course to embrace so much more in terms of wider opportunities in music, drama and sport. They can get onto the farm here. They can help with the bees during a science lesson. So all those things create wholesome individuals who we think go on to make a difference. Here at Lambrook, we're great fans of weekly and flexi boarding, and that is available for any children from age 7 all the way up to 13. Perhaps when they're age 7, they do 1 or 2 nights per week or per fortnight, and then year by year that actually grows. So by the end of their time here, many are actually boarding, say, for 4 or 5 nights. The average boarder hopefully wakes by about 6:45 to 7 o'clock in the morning. They then have a fabulous cooked breakfast at 7:30. Then obviously they get ready for the day, where they obviously join the rest of their peers in school. Life is as busy as it normally is, but there is also the opportunity for them to pop back to catch up with their housemaster or their house mistress during the day as well. And then when school finishes at 5:30, they then go back to their boarding house to have time with each other, perhaps play a few games. In the summertime, they'll be outside, but in winter time, they'll be indoors, perhaps doing another prep, followed by supper. And then after supper, oh, great things begin to happen. They go on torchlight expeditions, play murder in the dark, hide and seek. They might play in the sports hall, they might go for a swim. They'll do all sorts of wonderful things. Summertime, they'll play golf, they'll play cricket. It's an absolute paradise for any child. And then they get to bed, obviously in reasonable time, and then hopefully fall asleep and snore, I'm sure. Saturday morning program is a really popular thing here at school. Following breakfast in the morning, we have our chapel services where we often invite an external speaker. Our parents also join us too for that. They'll often have coffee and croissants after. The children then go on for 4 or so lessons in the morning. We often use it as a good opportunity to also invite perhaps a speaker who's perhaps climbed Everest or has swum across the channel to inspire them. We then, following lunch, we then have a busy fixture afternoon, and that can include up to 18-20 different teams, followed by team tea with our parents outside, and then they normally get home by around 5 to 6 o'clock towards the end of the day. So at Lambrook, we run 5 minibuses into London every single day. The children are normally ready and waiting either at Brook Green or at Chiswick by around 7:15 in the morning. They then reach Lambrook by about 8 o'clock to 8:05. And then at the end of the day, they leave here at 5:20. And then normally they reach their drop-off point by around 4:15 to 6:20, ready for supper with their parents. We try to get most of their prep done here in school as well, which really helps. The children really enjoy those trips. It's a good opportunity for a bit of downtime, but also a great chance to also perhaps catch up with their reading and listening to music as well. So we're great fans of it. We think it works. We also mix it in with some flexi boarding for those who perhaps find 5 or 6 days just slightly tiring, but it seems to be working very well for us. The ideal age to come to Lambrook is obviously when you're very young, when you're age 3. However, we do have options for children to join us age 7 into our year 3, or possibly we have a few places for entry into year 4. We do open up our doors for about 10 children to join us into year 7, but we would say the ideal age is actually to join us. If you can't come for our pre-prep, then join us into year 3, and that's a really exciting stage of transition from pre-prep up to prep. My advice for any parents wanting to register for Lambrook is you need to ideally register at least 1 year in advance. We don't expect you to register at birth, though of course you're very welcome to, but we would generally say at least 1 year before you're planning to send your child here to the school. When our children come here for assessment, they join us on our big assessment days, and they do need to actually take both a maths and an English assessment, but we also take a really good look at their school reports, and then for the rest of the day we spend time interviewing them. I interview them as in small groups of say 4 or 5. I find out about their interests, their likes, their dislikes, what they would take with them on a desert island, which 3 famous people would they have for dinner. We also organise some really good teamwork activities too. But from our perspective, our assessment is really finding the right child who we think will really flourish here and embrace everything that we offer here at Lambrook. At Lambrook we feed about 35 different independent senior schools, and of course we have a close association with a core group of 10 or so. The main schools that we feed are obviously Eton College down the road. We send a fair number of boys and girls to Wellington College, to Charterhouse, to Bradfield College, to Marlborough College, to Teddy's, but very open to sending our children further afield to Rugby, to Oundle. We also send our girls to Wickham Abbey, to Down House, to Cheltenham Ladies College, a whole variety of different schools. My advice to parents contemplating a move to country prep: 2 words: do it.